Hello again. So, towards the end of 2012, I found myself in the middle of the economic crisis in Greece. The unemployment rate was 26.6%, the highest percentage we have seen in Greece until then. That is, 1 out of 4 people was unemployed, leaving more than 1 million people without a job. On top of that, I was not feeling fulfilled in my current position, earning 900 euros a month. But the current situation in Greece did not allow me many options. As for example, people had to be grateful just because they had a job. No discussion about changing a job or asking a pay rise. For many years, I had the desire to live and work abroad, but I could never find the courage to do it. The economic crisis, my low salary, the negative vibes I was absorbing in Greece led me to make a bold move. In October 2012, I quit my job and booked a one-way ticket with British Airways to London. So here I was on the 11th of November 2012 with 2 pieces of luggage without knowing what to expect. The first surprise was waiting for me when I arrived at the airport, when my lovely Greek friend John never showed up. He mixed up the dates, and not only he didn't come to pick me up, he could not offer me also a place to stay until I settled down as it was initially the plan. So I ended up in a £50 a night hotel, because that's all I could afford back then. As I was feeling a bit lonely that evening, probably the universe decided to send me some company. So the next morning, when I woke up, I found a mouse walking on my bed. I panicked, obviously. My first thought was to book a return ticket back to Greece and the comfort of my family. But that would mean that I failed, and this for me wasn't an option. Instead, I decided to not give up. Sometimes, when the right conditions for growth are not present, we need to take a huge risk and create our own opportunities. And for me, risking to stay in London at that moment was the risk that I had to take in order to create my own opportunity. So today, I want to share with you some key events of my story and 3 things that I learned over the last few years in London that I hope will act as a compass for some of you to either do things or think about things differently. So 1 week after that day of finding the mouse walking on my bed, I realized I should find another place to stay. So I started searching for a place to rent, I started searching for a job. I was very lucky, as in within a few weeks I found a room to share in an apartment, and I also started working in a startup. But this positive energy did not last for long, as 5 months after, the startup went bankrupt. I even had to spend all my savings because they couldn't even afford to pay our full salaries. I remember the last couple of weeks before starting a new job, I had to eat lentils almost every day because that's all I had. And calling my parents and asking for their help was not an option because even if it sounds silly, my pride did not allow me to do so, but also their financial situation did not allow them to do so. So as Reinhold Niebuhr once said, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And there was nothing I could do to change what had already happened. But the one thing that I could change was my mindset. And that is the first lesson I learned in London, that change starts with us. The change I had to do was to let go of my fears and find the courage to leave my country without even having a place to stay, or getting out of my comfort zone and staying in London despite the fact that things were not going as I expected. So what I learned that moment was that when challenges appear, to not give up, to not focus on the things that do not go well, but instead to persevere, to focus on what is within my control zone. And that's exactly what I did. I did not give up. About a year later, I was in a much better place. I was working in a larger company. I even had a boyfriend, Paolo, that today is my husband. And as I was searching And as I was searching for better opportunities, I came across a role in Amazon. Paolo prompted me to apply for the position, but I was very hesitant. I was hesitant because, first of all, I didn't think I had all the skills they required for the job, and also I didn't believe that one of my dream companies to work at would ever consider me. But Paolo insisted again and again and again. Italians are very persistent. So I had no other choice but to apply. To my surprise, a few days after, they invited me to the first interview. Then I passed on the second stage, then I passed on the third stage, and then they invited me to the final stage that included a full day of interviews within Amazon. Despite arriving to that last stage, I still didn't believe I would get an offer. That thought alone helped me on the day. As I was sure I wouldn't get the role, I wasn't too much stressed about it. So instead, I decided to just enjoy the moment and do my best. So I went there, I talked with interviewers about the role, about the Amazon principles, about my experience and why I would love to work for them. That was one of the best days of my life. Probably my marriage was the second best. So that was one of the best days of my life, just because I managed to be there. Something that I couldn't even dream a year and a half ago when I was leaving Greece. And guess what? I did receive an offer that obviously I accepted. And that is the second learning I want to share with you. Do not make assumptions about what you can or cannot do. Instead, take a leap of faith and claim your dreams. Because this is something I hear over and over again during my coaching sessions. Because so many people are afraid to apply for a position because they don't think they have all the skills. Or they are afraid to ask for a promotion because they don't think they will get it. But how do you know? How do you know if you don't even try? Do not let the fear of failure to make a decision for you. Instead, take a leap of faith and claim your dreams. So the question I'm getting to is, do you have the courage to claim your dream, or you will let it slip away? Because life is not just about going to the office, waiting for the weekend, paying the rent. Each and every one of us has the right to live a life out of the dream they have inside. And it's perhaps the saddest loss to live a life without even trying to follow your dream. So what is your dream? What ignites your spark? What is the role you are afraid to apply to? What is the bold move you are afraid to make? And I strongly believe you wouldn't have this dream in your heart if you didn't already have what it takes to make it happen. As some of you may know, Amazon has 14 leadership principles. And one of these principles resonated with back then and still does. It's about having backbone, disagree, and commit. So for Amazon, leaders are obligated to respectfully challenge decisions when they disagree, even when doing so is uncomfortable or exhausting. Leaders have conviction and are tenacious. They do not compromise for the sake of social cohesion. Once a decision is determined, they commit wholly. So why am I mentioning this? 1 year after working in Amazon, I started to believe in myself, to recognize my skills. But most importantly, I started to believe that I could take ownership of my own life and pursue my dreams. Since I was 18 years old, within the first year at University of Computer Science, I realized that my true passion was helping people. But growing up in Greece, in a very traditional family where both my parents retired after working over 25 years in the same company, changing profession to become an entrepreneur who wants to help people was not a normal thing to do. So I just had to leave this dream behind. So even though excuse me, a little bit of stress. So I had to leave this dream behind. And even though I had this dream, as I said, I couldn't pursue. It was until I worked in Amazon, until I started gaining my own confidence, that I found the courage to actually follow this dream. Thanks to Amazon, I developed the backbone and the commitment to follow my dream, to recognize that this career path did not inspire me anymore, to have the courage to understand what success was for me. But what is success? Some people count it with years to live. Some people count it with health. Some people, they want to become millionaires. Success is something very subjective for each and everyone. For me, success was not about my bank account. It was about making an account for myself to live a sure job and carve a path of my own. Standing here in front of successful people, talking in companies like the Telegraph, is part of what success looks like for me. Delivering a speech that might resonate with you, it's an even bigger success. So once you know what is success, go for it. Commit 100%. Be determined to not give up. Will you struggle? Of course you will. There is no such thing as smooth mountain. If you want to get to the top, there will be many sharp edges that need to be stepped over. There will be moments where you will be stressed and disappointed and demotivated. But let me tell you this. Steven Spielberg was rejected from film school 3 times. 3 times, but he kept going. TV execs fired Oprah. They said she wasn't fit for TV, but she kept going. Critics told Beyoncé that she couldn't sing. She went through depression, but she kept going. Because criticism and struggle are necessary conditions for growth. And pain is part of life. But we can choose what pain, the pain on the road to success, or the pain to be haunted with regret. Having backbone, disagree, and commit. That is the third lesson that I want to share with you today, and something that I will always be grateful to Amazon for. This is what led me to live a promising career within tech and start pursuing my own dream. And after leaving Amazon, through my research, I came across coaching and positive psychology. And I just got so fascinated that I decided to go back to uni and study a postgraduate degree. That wasn't easy, of course, because for me was like going back to square 2. If square 1 was leaving Greece without knowing what to expect, without having a place to live, square 2 was going back to uni to study a completely new subject in a language that's not my native, as you probably figure out by now, from my very strong Greek accent, and starting a new career from zero. Today, almost 3 years after that day, I hold a postgraduate degree on coaching and positive psychology with distinction. I'm working towards publishing my thesis. I am a guest lecturer at UCL. And the most important thing, I make a living from what I love, which is helping and empowering people. And all these failures, they did not lead to be a success, because I don't feel to be a success. Instead, I feel that my journey has just started. And I don't want more failures, but I welcome failures, because every time I fail, I learn. And because I believe in life, you either win or you learn. And my experience of living in a foreign country where you're brand new, and you might feel as I was out of your water, has taught me that one of the most important things in order to succeed is your network. At least it was for me. If I didn't have amazing people to support me, I would have never done any of the things I did so far. And this is exactly what inspired me to create Women in Tech Club. Because this group is all about helping each other. It's all about creating a community that is based on human connection. Because if I have one idea and you have one idea, then each of us has one idea. But if we exchange our ideas, then we both end up having 2 ideas each. And that's the power of the group. That is the power of the network. And another thing that I realized, it is that it's not about how men or women face failure. It's about how human beings face failure. So it doesn't matter if you are a man or if you are a woman. What matters is how resilient you are as a person. So today I'm not coming here as a woman or as a man or as a professional or as an expert, because there is no expertise on failure, but there is expertise after failure. So my message today is not to women or to men, it's to human beings, because that's how I choose to see people. There are no stereotypes for me. There are no women in tech, there are no men in tech, there are just human beings in tech. As the Dalai Lama once said, when you lose, don't lose the lesson. So I want to close my talk today with the 3 lessons that I learned. Number 1, when things do not go as planned, accept the things you cannot change and find the courage to change the things that you can. Number 2, do not make assumptions about what you think you can or cannot do. Instead, take a leap of faith and claim your dreams. And number 3, challenge your decisions when they no longer resonate with your heart, and be committed to your success. I hope this journey of mine so far has motivated some of you who either feel lost, who had a friend who disappeared on you, who found a mouse walking on your bed, who are afraid to apply in your dream job. So I hope it motivated you to find the courage and the stamina and the strength to leave this room today and say, I will make it. I will make it irrespective of my failures, irrespective of my shortfalls. Because we've been given a gift that is called life. And we cannot go back and make a brand new beginning. But we can start today and make a brand new ending. Thank you very much for listening. I hope all of you will have more and more successes in the near future. And as I said earlier on, the network is the most important thing. And today I feel really, really honored because I have 2 networks to support me. I have Carol's network and Women in Tech, Not Just Code. I have Lawrence and all the AI world. And I also have the Telegraph, of course, and the engineering group. So thank you all for your support, and thanks for listening.